Patrick Healy was an enigma. A man of simple pleasures, he lived a quiet life in the sleepy town of Havenwood. His neighbors knew him as a kind soul, always willing to lend a hand. They saw him as a creature of habit, rarely venturing beyond the familiar comforts of Havenwood. Yet beneath this ordinary facade lay a mystery that would baffle even the most seasoned investigators. For Patrick Healy vanished not once but twice, leaving behind a trail of bewilderment and unanswered questions. It was a crisp autumn evening in 1975 when the whispers began. Patrick, a man known for his punctuality, failed to show up for his regular shift at the local library. His colleagues, initially dismissing it as a minor delay, soon grew concerned. As hours turned into days and days into weeks, a chilling realization swept through Havenwood. Patrick Healy had vanished without a trace. The police launched an investigation, combing through his modest apartment and interviewing friends and acquaintances. But every lead ran cold. Every clue seemed to evaporate into thin air. Patrick Healy, the seemingly unremarkable man from Havenwood, had simply ceased to exist. Weeks turned into months, and months into years. The initial shock in Havenwood gradually gave way to a somber acceptance. Hope dwindled with each passing season, replaced by the grim certainty that Patrick Healy was gone forever. His case, relegated to the cold storage of unsolved mysteries, became a cautionary tale whispered amongst the townsfolk, a stark reminder of the capricious nature of fate and the unsettling reality that even in the most ordinary of lives, the extraordinary could lurk around any corner. The year 1975 was a tumultuous time. The Vietnam War had just ended, leaving a scar on the American psyche. The Watergate scandal had eroded trust in the government. Against this backdrop of uncertainty and disillusionment, Patrick Healy's disappearance became a microcosm of the anxieties that gripped the nation. People were grappling with a sense of unease, a feeling that things were not quite right. Patrick's vanishing act, so sudden and inexplicable, only served to amplify these fears. The investigation into Patrick's disappearance was thorough, but ultimately fruitless. His apartment yielded no signs of a struggle or forced entry. His personal belongings remained untouched, as if frozen in time. Friends and family were questioned, their accounts painting a picture of a man leading a quiet, unassuming life. He had no known enemies, no history of mental instability, and no apparent reason to disappear voluntarily. The police were left with a baffling puzzle. A man had vanished into thin air, leaving behind no clues and no trace. As time went on, the case grew colder. The police, faced with an ever-growing backlog of unsolved cases, were forced to scale back their efforts. Patrick's disappearance, like so many others, faded from the headlines, replaced by newer, more pressing concerns. His family, however, never gave up hope. They clung to the belief that one day, somehow, Patrick would return to them. Little did they know, their faith would be tested in ways they could never have imagined. 6 long years had passed since that fateful autumn evening when Patrick Healy vanished. The townsfolk of Havenwood had grown accustomed to his absence, the memory of his disappearance fading into the background hum of everyday life. Then, on a sweltering summer day in 1981, the impossible happened. Patrick Healy reappeared as suddenly and inexplicably as he had vanished. A disheveled figure bearing a striking resemblance to the missing man stumbled into the Havenwood general store. He was gaunt, his clothes tattered and torn, his eyes clouded with a disorienting mix of fear and confusion. When questioned by the bewildered shopkeeper, the man uttered a single name, a name that sent chills down her spine: Patrick Healy. News of his return spread through Havenwood like wildfire. The town, once resigned to the finality of his disappearance, was now abuzz with a mixture of elation, disbelief, and a healthy dose of apprehension. Could this truly be Patrick Healy, back from the abyss after all these years? Or was this some cruel trick of fate, a phantom returned to haunt their collective memory? The man claiming to be Patrick was immediately taken to the Havenwood Police Department. His reappearance ignited a firestorm of questions, each more perplexing than the last. Where had he been all these years? Why had he disappeared in the first place? And most importantly, was this truly Patrick Healy? Or was he an imposter, a master manipulator weaving a web of lies? As the authorities delved deeper into the mystery of Patrick's return, they uncovered a series of unsettling discrepancies that only served to deepen the enigma surrounding his disappearance.